Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest with the last of the 4 reviews for Series 30, literally. This, of course, is Selkara, Monster of the Depths. So, it's been a fun ride reading this series with my best friend Adam. I have enjoyed it. I would say it's not the best series in my personal opinion. I'll get to that when I can. But like always then, overall, it's not the worst, I'll say that. It's not terrible, it's still not the best though. But regardless, like always, in-depth story analysis and my overall thoughts on this epic adventure. So if you haven't already, make sure you've read this book before watching this review, unless you don't care for spoilers. That being said, let's get into it. So it starts off with Selma, who is running off, still thirsty. She followed a river that led to a village because she seems to be the character, or she seems to have this desire for thirst. So she's following along, finding a river, which leads to a village where she sees a horse trot, and then she puts her head in water and her hands in water in it, but she's still thirsty. And now she's hunted by some local villagers who chased her into a river, leaving her for dead. Basically, she falls into the river and she goes downstream, and they presume her dead, but of course we know she's not dead. We get to Daltek, and he seems to have fully healed Tom. However, Daltek feels it's a bit unsure about it. Daltek also reveals that he's also known about this mysterious magic that the weapons have inherited after the beast is killed, or I should say defeated actually. But that has been, so that he's known about that built-up plot point through the series as our heroes fear. So they're fearing what's that mystery about. Yeah. Then we have Myandra. She bumps into the locals and they tell her where Selma went. The Elder gives a ride, and she is told of some pirates, and also they bump into that group of pirates in their large vessels, where they're introduced to Captain Claw, a pirate who has a connection to Rhea, and he took the Elder and Myandra captive, but then the beast arrived. So Selkara attacked, and the pirates and Myandra made a truce, basically a temporary truce, to fight off the beast, which led to her dragging the ship around. Elena is sent, as Tom might be not ready to fight in their minds, but Tom goes for his weapons, but without him knowing, Elena goes without him because she was a bit concerned for her friend. But in the end, even when she arrives, she gets whirled and knocked out by the beast and kind of like hanging, need rescue. She's put in a position where she herself, Elena, needs rescue, so Myandra gives her some help there. Selkara destroys the ship, and then everyone escapes, including Elena and Myandra. And she told the Captain Claw and she's gonna take some chains, and she wants Captain Claw's crew and himself to pull when she gives the signal. So she wraps the chains around. She gets the chains ready to wrap around the beast. So Myandra drive down and tricked Selkara into encoiling herself into some chains. The crew pulled, and Selkara was dragged out of the sea for the final blow. Basically, she was dragged to the sea for the final blow. This enchanted Myandra's trident and turned Selma back to her human self, while Claw had lost his ship, his ship, his gold, and his crew as they left him basically after that. And I assume they let Claw go for saying thanks for helping out. And Zuba is hinted to return another day. So yeah, basically that whole plot point of Zuba being established doesn't really do much. And then that whole thing with the magic, yeah. But yeah, that is of course Selkara, the Monster of the Depths. It's not the best book in the world, but it is one of the better stories of the 4 of them, because there's a bit more development with some of the stuff that goes on. So I would put this possibly second best. It's hard to say. Makoro is good. But yeah, the characters, Myandra's their main lead. She's probably one of the more developed of the 4 of them compared to the others. I do like her, not as much as probably the previous one, but it's a bit debatable. I think these two are the previous one. Was it Nolan? And Myandra, they work well for me. Katia was Rafe was there. So those two really stand out for me in the series. And then we had, of course, Eleanor, who's basically there to be muscle, but she gets taken out, allowing Myandra to get more development. So again, I appreciate that Myandra in this situation that Myandra is actually able to prove herself and defeats the Beast single-handedly. I'm not going to talk about too much, but I know that me and Adam share our viewpoint on, well, kind of agree on our point on Tom, because he's becoming more prideful and trying to take matters into his own hands because of his position. But regardless of his position, no matter how powerful he thinks he is, he hasn't really done all these beast fights he's had. He hasn't done it alone. He's had to require help to get to where he is, or that position where he is, and so on and so forth. And if it wasn't for Elaine in Series 24 and his other allies, he would have been defeated. So he should have a bit more respect for his allies now. That's what I think. So it is a bit of a shame that they kind of have to it seems they're kind of reworking his plot point to, well, we've got to rework the character back to his old roots because new viewers. But I don't understand why they can't just explain, past events briefly as much as you can. That's what I would do. As for the villain, Zuba, it's sad to say he doesn't really do much in this series. He's just there to, set up these characters, these villains, break them out, and boom, have some anarchy going on. She's a fun villain. I do like her powers and her personality, but it's just a shame she doesn't really get to do much. She tries to raise the stakes up with Latika, and after her fourth beast gets taken out, she just flies off another day. So again, I feels like there's something else going on with that whole magic stuff, in the weapons. But what it is a bit disappointing that we have a villain who doesn't really do much per se. When it comes to the other villains, not many. She may be the villain who gets involved in this series the least, because other villains before this have always been involved in their plotting. But Zuba really doesn't do much compared to other villains in their solo series, maybe. Unless you can really think of one, like one series alone where the villain did less than Zuba. Let me know. I guess it'll be Selkara. Selkara, she is an alright beast. She's supposed to be the legendary monster of legend, but that's what she was turned into, like this creature of legend. So that was a nice twist, having it not be something unique, but something that was hinted at from a story and a legend. That was pretty cool to make it real. I do like that thinking. And she's a type of sea monster type thing, like an aborigine of nature. So I did like that concept. Adam does think she's a cunning beast because how she's able to pull the ship. So there is that, and then he's also implying there was an element of egotistical there. It's debatable. I was going to say angry for how she's rushing everything around, but I'm willing to tolerate cunning. I don't really see where the ego would come into play, but cunning's all right for me. I can give that a kind of pass. But that's what I'd say. And like I said, when it comes to the whole element, the one element they build up in the story is that there's this mysterious magic, which every time you give the final blow on a beast, it goes into the weapon. It's a built-up thing throughout the series, a mystery box, like Doctor Who, like the Bad Wolf entity and all that stuff. The difference is, though, unlike those, this one never has a payoff. You built up this thing in this series, this mysterious magic. You wonder what it's going to be about in this series? Well, guess what? You don't get to know. They don't tell you anything. You're just there, gets mentioned by the heroes. They want to know even they are curious to know what's going on, and there is literally no payoff for it, which is a big missed opportunity. I know they're probably building up for the next series, but if that was the case, it was kind of poor planning to introduce it to this series, and you're not going to mention anything about it. I know the heroes mention it, but there's no real payoff for it in this series, and that's kind of a bit unfair. In my personal opinion, it feels a bit unfair to your fans who've been waiting for a payoff, and then say, "Oh, you've got to wait till next time for that." It does feel a bit unfair to the fans and viewers, or readers of the book, you could say, for waiting to see what the payoff is. So I feel like that feels a bit unfair in my personal perspective. But that's just probably how I see when it comes to storytelling. But, Zuba was alright. Again, if she did more, maybe I could like her more. She's a fun villain, but because she had less, right now she's kind of on the back burner. My main complaint, of course, is the mystery thing not having a payoff in the story perspective. When it comes to the beasts, I did enjoy them. Leptika's will probably be the best book when it comes to story and beast-wise. Selkara or Makoro is 2. Take what you will. There's good things about both. Maybe because I'm a bit partial to Scorpions because it's my zodiac sign. Star one. There you go. Selkara is probably 3rd, maybe. Bit hinting there. But again, Myandra makes up for a better lead compared to the Casio one. So there might be that going for it too. Yeah, because Katia was kind of a weak companion, where Mindra was more. So better here in this book, and the Beast is debatable. Um, but yeah, that's really all I've got to say. I did enjoy these 4 adventures. It does feel like a scheming plot, like there's no big arc. But it feels like Zuba is up to something bigger, and this plot did feel like, create a little chaos, create like anarchy. But there's no like big scheme of hers that we know of so far. So, and I'm hoping that, of course, with Captain Claw, he gets to come back into play later on for another fun villain to make unexpected alliances with. That'd be pretty cool. Kind of like Petra in a way. Overall, I did enjoy this series. It's not the best. I'm looking forward to doing my collaboration with Adam when I get the chance. Adam Ferns, that is. And I'm looking forward to seeing his review. I know he's told me that he's uploaded it, so I'll make sure to get to that when I can to able to see it. And I look forward to seeing more Beast Quest content out in the future and see what else brings. Thank you all for watching, guys. Until next time, peace out.